British did not create Nigeria, Arewa House drops bombshell. Nnamdi Kanu's release, lawyer drops update. So British didn't create Nigeria, they divided it, Arewa House. The Center for Research and Historical Documentation at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, popularly called Arewa House, has argued that the British did not create Nigeria but succeeded in dividing the country. Dr. Arewa House, Dr. Shuaibu Shehu Aliyu, said in Kaduna on Friday that the misconception and distortion of history is a major reason affecting the political growth of Nigeria. According to Aliyu, it is not true that the British created Nigeria, but the British created regions, basically to divide Nigeria, which they succeeded along regional lines, he said. Aliyu spoke during a press conference ahead of the third lecture series of the Arewa House while announcing a lecture tagged Contemporary Nigeria Politics and the Ghost of Politics of Independence Struggles. Aliyu noted the lecture will be delivered by Professor Al-Qasim Abba from the History Department of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and will be held on the 10th of September in Arewa House. Nigeria is an entity. It is not the British that actually created Nigeria. The British created the regions to divide us. They have succeeded in dividing us along ethnic and religious lines. The lecture is to make us understand that Nigeria is one single entity. Okay, let's be realistic. Nigeria is practically three countries in one. And so there is literally, you can't be that diverse as a country and say you're one country. Most countries, even as some countries have a bigger landmass and a more populous than Nigeria, and they speak one language. Like they literally speak one language. The culture is there's a unity, there's a oneness in the culture and behavior of the people. We are very diverse, and maybe it's a thing where one tribe may outshine another in this area or in that area, but we are so diverse. But again, going back to the historical facts, well, I don't know how he's going to argue it, so we should be open to arguments. But really, we know that you had the Southern Protectorate and the Northern Protectorate, and of course, with Lord Lugard, that's when he amalgamated the country, and the North and the South became one. You also have to understand that, of course, the British really, whether they tried to create Nigeria or divide it, the fact is that they owned it. And whatever they decided to do with it, they owned it and they could do whatever they wanted. So if they're going to divide it, if they're going to give us the name Nigeria, whatever they plan to do, they already owned it and they asserted control already. So it's not about if they created it or they divided it. The point is, there is no excuse for 60 years after independence, you're still behind. That is the essence of that. Literally, I mean, yes, we cannot undermine that the damage that colonialism, did bring. We can't deny that, and of course, it would still have its effects till today. But more than what they did was just, an economic divide or an economic exploitation. Really, they broke our cultures down, our way of life. They really broke it down. And you have to understand the contrast differences between the north, southwest, and southeast is just astronomical. I mean, it's too divided. You have people that live such different lives. Even the religion is different, and you expect unity from such. You're expecting unity from three countries to be one. Of course, it is hard. So realistically, the Yoruba kingdom and the Benin kingdom were not one. You have the Igbos that were them by themselves. You also have the North that, really, when you say the Hausas and then the infiltration of the Fulanis. So you have to understand with history, people were moving around a lot. And really, as we know, the North from time immemorial it's been historical fact that they have tried to come down to the South and take over as well. It has been even before colonialism. But of course, each of these regions and tribes were doing their own thing. They were never one. They weren't. And so really the way the British attacked, the North was different from the tactics that the Portuguese used in the South. So we have to understand, yes, there's so many misconceptions to how Nigeria was colonized, who owned it first, and how we got ownership by the British. But really, all these are so irrelevant. I mean, they are relevant, but like in terms of, okay, fine, you can admit these are the unfortunate consequences that do come as a result of colonialism. But you cannot, it's been too long. There is no excuse as to why. Of course, our history is different. We did have a war literally 6 years after independence. That Nigeria was never meant to be one. It wasn't. We were created as one, and we got independence as one nation. So of course, that makes it complicated to try to separate. But really, all that doesn't really matter, because economically there's no excuse as to why we shouldn't be where we went where there's no excuse as to why we shouldn't be where we're meant to be. It doesn't, I mean, you've had civilizations that in 60 years they've literally turned the country around. They've been more industrial. So really what we have is Nigeria. You just have, economically is a power, but when it comes to our way of life and our culture and how we interact with one another, we are too different. We are too different. The cultures that we have, it's very different. It's like you're going to another part of the country and you're in a new country. That's how diverse we are. So really, you can't. The essence of your conversation now, really, yes, maybe we do need to ask questions when it comes to our independence and just the history of individual regions or the main tribes in the country. Yes, I think that is important for us to delve into more. And of course, I'm not going to lie. When history has been told by one side, we have every doubt, we have every right to doubt it. So really, I understand, okay, fine, if you want to clear up some misconceptions, I'm just saying from my own knowledge, let's see what they have to say to justify why they believe the British did not create Nigeria, but they did cause a lot of harm and damage to everything, to as a people, to how we think, to how we behave, to how we perceive ourselves. And of course, that would affect how we interact with each other. And of course, other African countries, they did a number on us. However, we also have to take responsibility for the fact that really we also did mess up in taking the bull by the horn and doing better for ourselves. We can't, there's really, I don't see how you can make an excuse for that, to be honest. I really don't. We'll look at one comment here. Even if they divided Nigeria on the regional basis, as you had rightly said, it's a good development. Had it been they didn't do that, Nigeria could have been worse than Afghanistan because the kind of ideology you guys have. But it's not just ideologies. Like, we're so different. You have three countries in one. And again, if you're going to talk about how it was divided, well, some parts of, of the west, of the southwest, should be with the Benin Republic and should be one. And some parts of the southeast should be with Cameroon. If we're really going to talk about where people really do belong. So I think with a lot of Nigerians, it's like, okay, fine. We're now together. Let's just suck it up. Create a Nigeria for ourselves with our diversity. Which, if we wanted to, we could make our diversity the strongest point. But, it's us. Put what you think about this in the comment section below. And do not forget to like and subscribe.